Hi guys, I'm Shmee and it's time for another adventure. This is going to be the X6 Tour. I'm going to be heading around Europe for 2 or 3 weeks in the BMW X6 M50d. The car BMW UK have provided me as a sort of long-term test car. Just shy of 400 horsepower, tri-turbo diesel, a lot of comfort. It's going to be a pretty good car for this trip. So where am I going? I'm setting off today to head over through Belgium and the Netherlands. I'm going to be on my own because I'll be joined by my co-driver tomorrow who's flying in. Then I'm going to be heading down through Germany, the Alps, Italy, back up round through France, back into Germany before coming back home. So it's going to be another tour, a bit like the Where's Shmee tour, where I'm going to be visiting a whole host of different venues along the way, test drives at manufacturers, tuners, 1 or 2 other sort of automotive locations I can find as I go. So I've got an awful lot planned and I'm looking forward to this. There will be daily vlogs as well as some more in-depth car review type pieces as well. But this is going to be a pretty good car to do this kind of trip in. And I'm going to give a lot more feedback on it as we go. One of the reasons though is the luggage space. Significantly more than you would find in a supercar, and I've got quite a lot of stuff this time, which is a little bit embarrassing, but I've got 3 weeks worth of clothes, some stuff to give away, all my camera gear, yeah, just lots. But it's going to be a good car to do it in, I think, for the start at least, and then I'm going to be swapping into some other cars as I go. So I will be driving in some supercars at various stages of the X6 Tour. So yes, without further ado, I should really jump in and get on my way down today towards the Eurotunnel. I did forget that I was leaving London in the morning rush hour, and I'm not going anywhere very quickly, to be honest. It does look like I should make it to my Eurotunnel in time, but it's certainly not the most exciting way to leave, and it's a little bit gloomy as well. Looks like it might be okay later. Certainly should be okay where I'm going to in the next couple of days. But this is not the most exciting start to what's probably going to be a 9-hour drive for me today. Cruising along, but I've lost a fair whack of time with all of the traffic. My estimated arrival time at the Eurotunnel is the exact minute my check-in deadline closes, so I have no idea if I'll make my train, but normally you just get pushed on to the next one if you don't, so fingers crossed it's going to be okay. When I'm driving, I often choose to navigate with Waze, which is a mobile phone app, works absolutely brilliantly, has all sorts of live traffic updates and everything, but I've just spotted a text message come up on my phone, and I can use the car actually, I think, to read it out. Yes, here we go. And this is going to summarise today in a nutshell.
We are currently experiencing delays at our Folkestone terminal. Please check in as planned. We are working hard to minimise the impact to your journey.
So, surprise, surprise, there is a delay at the Eurotunnel. There have been a whole load of things in the news recently about everything going on to do with Calais and people coming over to England. So Folkestone is going to be, I guess, a long delay probably. Officially, I'm going to get there at 12:20, bang on to the minute when my train is supposed to be. When my train is supposed to be checking in. And then it's half an hour after that. So there's some weird things going on with the traffic here. Somebody driving right up behind me, totally unnecessarily. Yeah, so my train's supposed to be at 10 to 1. Let's see whether it's anywhere near that. Time to see how this is going to work today. So I'm hoping it will know the number plate, because these days you can actually put in your number plate and it will recognise it. There we go, Mr. Burton. Thank you very much. Service disrupted, some delays. I guess we're going to get given a hanger thing to put up here. And come on. And head on inside, get some lunch and see what it says. It's kind of unusual actually. I'm used to being in a really low car where I have to reach up to this. This might even be one of the first times I've actually done the Eurotunnel in an SUV type car. It is the first time in any car that isn't a sports car or a small hatchback or something when I was younger. The heavens have opened, it's pouring with rain, but I've grabbed some lunch. It's about a 2-hour delay, but fortunately I'm just about ready to go. It says, due to an earlier power supply problem, there's a 2-hour delay to book departure. So hopefully that's going to be about it and we'll be able to get on the way. However, look what has just turned up. The noisiest car of Knightsbridge, the red chrome G-Class that is always causing trouble and revving too much. Yeah, the residents of Knightsbridge can rejoice though, because that's going to France for the weekend. So there will be some peace and quiet back home. Oh, I've just spotted there's also a Camaro down there as well. But it does now say please proceed, so I can jump in the car and head towards the train. Well, you basically just move from one queue to another queue. We've been through customs, which was super easy. They didn't even need to check passports today, which is quite unusual. Although I guess I look fairly innocent in a car on my own, even if it's an X6, which is big and threatening on itself. But yeah, standing in this queue. No clue if I'll be on the next train, or the one after that, or the one after that, or the one after that. Thank goodness we live in a world of technology, so I can talk to people and keep entertained. Should probably turn this off. Has a like auto hill hold as well, so if you press this button, auto hill hold, auto hold when you come to a stop, auto handbrake, that's what it would be called, which is convenient. But I don't think we're going anywhere in a hurry. This is going to be home for a while. While we're on the crossing, there are a couple of things I need to do, so I'm just going to turn the ignition on. The first one is to go to the units and put the car in kilometers, which actually changes the speedo almost immediately. So I'm just doing this on the other screen. And then you get kilometers. You still have a mile/hour readout in the middle. And the other thing I'm going to do that I discovered this car has, if I go to the lights menu and then headlights, is you can actually set them so that it doesn't dazzle oncoming traffic. Headlight adaptation. So what that will do is, instead of having main beam on one side and low on the other, is it will just make it completely flat lower. So slightly less good for visibility, but most importantly, a legal, allowed display style. I did actually just spot a comment on Instagram, which I'm just going to discuss. Somebody said that boring BMW dials. They're not very boring, it's a full digital display. If I put it in sport mode, you can go through different settings, and if I go the other way to eco, you get a blue thing, and you can obviously change stuff and things, and I actually think it's quite a nice display as it happens there. The interior of this car is pretty good, although I'll talk more about that as we go. And here we are then, the third country of the day, Belgium. Speed limit's a little bit lower in Belgium than in France, unfortunately. I'm going to be doing 4 countries today as I go into the Netherlands as well, but it's a pretty standard journey. At least it's not raining here. Nothing really to report on other than I'm just munching up the miles and getting on the way. I'm still about 2.5 hours from where I'm ending up tonight. I'm going to have to stop for an energy drink soon. I'm starting to feel pretty sleepy at the wheel, just comes from driving for this long, but it's all going fine. Nothing really to say. Well, I honestly don't remember the last time I drove through Belgium and didn't hit traffic jams. It just seems to be the way it goes. If you have a road trip through Belgium, you're going to end up adding some time to your journey. Oh dear. I've pulled into a services and got something to wake myself up. Fortunately, red seemed appropriate with the red car and the red everything. It's just sort of subliminal messages right here telling me to buy red. But one of the sort of weird things that's kind of a problem, although not really a problem with a car like this thing's a massive fuel tank. The range from a full tank is around 1,000 kilometers from a car that's still fairly sporty. So you need to stop more frequently than when you run out of fuel. I'm kind of used to these road trips in supercars where you stop every 2 or 3 hours anyway to fill up because you've drained it all, and that's kind of about right for going to the bathroom and getting yourself something to eat and drink. This thing is basically never going to empty. Well, not in a pretty long day. I don't think you often drive 1,000 kilometers in a day. That's pretty much the entire day on the road. So you kind of have to voluntarily force yourself to stop. But I've got about 1.5 hours from here to go to the hotel I'm staying at tonight. So far so good. Belgium full with lots of lorries on the motorways as always, but they haven't caused too much of a problem today. I'm just going to jump back in the car and crack on, really. I've literally just entered the Netherlands, so my 4th country of the day, and it is amazing how the traffic just all of a sudden eases up and everything starts going, well, I'm going a little bit slower now, but we're still over 100 kilometers per hour, which is probably the quickest I've been in the last hour or two. I don't get why going through Belgium's like that. Cool country, it has Spa for crying out loud, one of the best race circuits in the world, which I'll hopefully be going back to a later part of this trip. It's the Grand Prix this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the Grand Prix. I've seen quite a few people commenting on my social media about whether I'm going, but no, not this time round. I'm coming for some other stuff in this area, well, straight into the Netherlands and then to Germany. But I'm only about half an hour now from my hotel, so I should still get there when it's daylight, even if it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours later than I intended to get there today. So be it. This has been a pretty comfortable and quiet ride. Well, I've actually had some music playing quite loudly through the speaker system in this car, which is fantastic. It's been a good driving experience from a sort of relaxation point of view, something I'm not that used to. But just the final bit now to finish up getting to the hotel. Pulling up to my hotel car park, and it's become actually quite a sunny evening, which is always nice. Day 1 is done, and I'm so pleased to be back on the road. After Where's Shmee and then Gumball earlier this year, I really had the bug for it, and I've spent the last month in London just doing a whole load of things, and the supercar scene that was going on there, although it's been so much quieter than the previous few years, so I've been itching to get back onto this trip and make the most of it again, and the X6 has been a pretty good way to do it. I'd done about 100 miles on this tank in London, and now about 400 or 500 kilometers today driving with it, and still haven't had to fill it up. And I know obviously if you drive an efficient car, those figures are pretty irrelevant, but I'm used to doing road trips in cars that need filling up every 200 or 300 kilometers, so I'd have had to do 2 fills today or something. So for me it's a new experience, and it's been incredibly comfortable. Good tunes playing. It's been about 10 hours of time difference, so 9 hours of driving on the road today, and the seats have done me well. I'm going to do much more talk about the car as I get further through this trip. Of course, I've been alone, which is a weird way to do these road trips, but I'll be joined by Mark tomorrow when he flies in the evening as I head down to Germany. Yeah, so not a bad first day. Glad I've got here with just a little bit of traffic and the delay at the Eurotunnel, which actually wasn't as bad with hindsight as I thought it could have been. I had lots to catch up on my phone. Beauty of things these days, you can send emails from anywhere you are. Tomorrow I'm going to be visiting Vanderkooi Sports Cars near here in the Netherlands, who are a Lotus dealership, for some test drives. So I'm looking forward to this after my first experience with the Exige S. I did a test drive day a while back. You can find that on my channel. But I've been rather looking forward to having a look at the new one. So fingers crossed I'm going to be able to take that for a test drive tomorrow. Have some proper fun out here. And then I'm going to be heading over to Germany, pick up Mark from the airport and get ready for what happens after that. So there's plenty to come. I've now massively got the excitement bug for the rest of this trip. I'm being a little bit intentionally hush about where I'm going, and I'm sorry about that because I know I get loads of messages from people asking if you can meet me and stuff like that. But because so much of it is me trying to make videos and be places and concentrate on what I'm doing, unfortunately I can't necessarily reveal everywhere where I'm going to be. If there is anywhere we're going to hold any sort of public thing or schmeeting or something like that, I'll be posting it on my social media pages, so you know where to find it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that stuff. And that will all be on there. But yes, day 1 is down. Time for me to go in, get this edited up, and get some plans ready for tomorrow as well as dinner, because I'm pretty hungry after that long sitting in a car. It's kind of funny how that works. You do absolutely nothing all day and then you get hungry. But yeah, good day. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the X6 tour. That's it for now though. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers.